So I've got the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 and the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, the best of the best from Samsung, the regular conventional smartphone, and then their best foldable. And I want to compare the two, talk about them, share my experience using both of them, and answer the question at the end of the video, which one should you pick up? Starting things off with design. Completely different, right? One's foldable, one's just a regular smartphone. With the Z Fold 7, we're getting an outer 6.5-inch display that's usable because it is wider. So essentially, if you don't want to, you don't need to open up and use the inner display, but then why would you buy a foldable, you know? But for most tasks, again, you don't need to use the inner display. You can now type more comfortably with this outer display, and it's 120 Hertz, as well as the inner display, which is an 8-inch display, much larger than its predecessor as well. So you're getting a lot of display here with the Galaxy Z Fold 7. Now, we aren't using things like titanium on this, like the S25 Ultra, so that is a bummer, but we are still getting things like Gorilla Glass Ceramic 2 and Gorilla Glass Victus 2, and then we get the Armor Flex hinge right here, as well as IP48 ratings, and then obviously 2600 nits of peak brightness with the display. So we're getting a decent amount. Obviously, no, we're not getting the Ultra. And then with the hardware wise, we get the 200 megapixel main camera found here on the Z Fold 7. When we come to the Galaxy S25 Ultra, we are getting, again, titanium and more, you know, a flat frame as well as a flat display, a large 6.9-inch display, again 120 Hertz, gets super bright outdoors, 2600 nits of peak brightness. You do get the inclusion of the S Pen built into the phone, which you don't even have S Pen support on the Z Fold 7 because of the removal of that support with, you know, not having the digitizer anymore. And that has sparked a lot of conversation, you know, with people who use the S Pen on, you know, Z Fold 6 and past Z Fold devices. So maybe they might bring it back for the Z Fold 8. Samsung lately has been listening to their consumers. So if we voice our concerns, they will probably bring it back at some point. And if they are able to make it work, that'd be great. Imagine having a Z Fold 8 with an S Pen included. That would be pretty awesome. Now, here's the thing. Z Fold 7 is a little bit lighter than the Galaxy S25 Ultra. And I first was able to try this at Galaxy Unpacked. We put it on a scale. And yes, this does come out slightly on top, 215 grams versus 218 grams on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. And when you look at like the slimness or the thickness or thinness, whatever you want to call it, the Z Fold 7 is ever so slightly thicker at 8.9 millimeters versus the Galaxy S25 Ultra at 8.2. But from a side view, it kind of looks like the Z Fold 7 is thinner, but in reality, it's not. Now, the fingerprint sensor for the Z Fold 7 is embedded into the power button, and then with the Galaxy S25 Ultra, we have it under the screen, as past years have been. So it's been the same with the Z Fold 2. It's always been embedded into the fingerprint or the power button. The fingerprint has been embedded into the power button. It's pretty late at night, I know, but hear me out. Design is really a preference thing. Do you really want a slab of glass or do you really want a foldable? That is really up to you, but these are both premium designs and premium builds. Yes, I would have liked to have seen like the exact material from the S25 Ultra make its way to the Z Fold. For me, an Ultra, I mean, you're paying $2,000, right? You should be getting the best of the best in terms of hardware, software, battery life, all of the things. You should be getting the best of the best here. And I think that's what a foldable should be, Ultra, but that's just my take on a foldable. So design kind of comes down to preference. Which one do you want? That's really up to you. If you're fine with a large, regular, conventional 6.9-inch display here with the Galaxy S25 Ultra, you're gonna go with that. If you want to have an inner display and then you want to have a outer display too, you're gonna go with the Galaxy Z Fold 7. Now, when we come to the performance, I'll tell you this: it's been pretty much identical in terms of like the speeds, because they're both running the Snapdragon 8 Elite made for Galaxy, and my model here has 12 gigs of RAM with the Z Fold 7. Now you can get a model that has 16 gigs of RAM with 1 TB of storage, and then Galaxy S25 Ultra is just, you know, still the same with 12 gigs of RAM, which is fine, which is completely okay. Like, I have no issues whatsoever. They both get 7 years of software updates, and the Z Fold 7 comes with Android 16 One UI 8 right out of the box, plus that 7 years of software updates, whereas Galaxy S25 Ultra is running Android 15 out of the box, so One UI 7, but I currently have the One UI 16 beta right here, and it's been great. Like, my favorite update has been the weather app. I personally think the weather app is the best on any device, and then for me, Google comes in second place with their weather app. But I just love the user interface and how it looks, and having a much larger screen on Z Fold 7 for the great things that One UI has to offer. I personally like the software on the Z Fold 7 because of the optimization. There's so much more, you know, multitasking features, especially when you compare it to other foldables as well. But pretty much take your experience on a slab glass like the S25 Ultra and just enlarge it here with the Z Fold 7. That's really what you're getting. Now, I personally would prefer the Z Fold 7 in this department. One, because you do get the best of the best, but you also get that larger screen. So for me, like, look, Clash of Clans right here, whenever I switch back and, you know, put my SIM card into a regular smartphone to review, I'm less likely to play Clash of Clans because I've gotten used to it on the larger screen. When I was reviewing OnePlus Open, and then the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 from last year, and then Pixel 9 Pro Fold, and now back to this, I just can't go back to a smaller screen playing Clash of Clans. And I'll show you exactly why, and stay tuned to the channel. Maybe there may be a Clash of Clans. Oh my goodness, I got rated. Sweet. But there may be a separate Clash of Clans or like gaming video on the channel by the time this one goes up, or not, we'll see. But stay tuned for that. Wow, 100%. So I gotta work on this though. Like, don't judge me. You know, I'm not doing too well. I'm not doing too well, but it's a work in progress, guys. If you guys want to add me, like MTG, I think that's my name right here, MTG. Just want to add me right there. But yeah. Anyway, I mean, take a look at this, and then you can, like, you have the entire screen. You can take care of everything on the entire screen. I don't need to scroll up or down like this. I can take care of everything right here. And in fact, I do have some upgrades that I need to finish. So let's get this done real quick. Let's do that gold storage as well. And then throw in the Archer Queen. Bam. So there we go. And yeah, that's it. Like, I have the entire screen to do everything I want, and that goes for pretty much every single app here, like whether it's like YouTube or Twitter or whatever it may be, and then multitasking, having 2-3 apps open at the same time. Whereas with the S25 Ultra, it's very, you know, it's buttery smooth and it's quick, but I just have one app open. Like, I'll have YouTube open and that's it. And yes, you can like have top half, bottom half, things like that. But with this type of, like, this phone, I'm just opening up one app at a time and then switching back and forth, and that is really it. So if you want an amplification of the software experience on your Samsung device, you go with the Z Fold 7. If you just like having a regular smartphone, again, you go with the Galaxy S25 Ultra. But in this department, there essentially really is no day-to-day difference. I'll put it that way. No day-to-day difference. You can rely on both of these devices. Now, when we come to the cameras, I'm going to tell you guys right off the bat, the Galaxy S25 Ultra comes out on top. So we did get an upgrade with the Z Fold 7 with the 200 megapixel main camera, but essentially that's really it. Like, we're not getting the 50 megapixel ultra wide. We're not getting a 50 megapixel periscope. Like, we're not getting 100x zoom. We're not getting the stuff that the Ultra has that I think the Z Fold 7 should have had. We're not getting these ultra features. They're just kind of exclusive to the Ultra. And again, for a $2,000 phone, I kind of wish we had those. Yes, we are getting the 200 megapixel main camera, but the rest is still present on the S25 Ultra, and it's not being brought to the Z Fold 7. So if you have a focus in the camera department, you want to go with the Galaxy S25 Ultra. But by no means does that mean the Z Fold 7 is a terrible phone, like a camera phone. Still performs really great. But if you want the best of the best, you're going to go with the Galaxy S25 Ultra just because of that, you know, having more versatility, better quality as well. And then obviously there's the battery life. The battery life on both of these devices have been great, but the Galaxy S25 Ultra has been performing better, and that makes sense. It's a larger battery, 5,000 milliamp hours versus the 4,400 on the Galaxy Z Fold 7, which I personally would have liked to have seen at least a physically larger battery. And I think Samsung is able to implement using like silicon carbon to implement at least like a 5,000 milliamp hour battery in the Z Fold 7 or upcoming Z Fold 8, whatever it may be. That would be nice. However, there has been a slight improvement in the battery life compared to its predecessor, even though it has the same battery capacity. And that's because of, with the efficiency of the Snapdragon 8 Elite, and then we get Android 16, One UI 8, Samsung's battery, AI algorithm, all that stuff, just a bunch of different, things going into the equation. It does help with the battery life just a little bit. But overall, the S25 Ultra is going to last you much longer, getting about 6-ish hours of screen on time, which is really great. Some cases I'm pushing 6.5. And I know that I don't need to worry about needing to charge the Galaxy S25 Ultra, especially if I go like on a weekend trip or whatever the case may be. But if it's with the Z Fold 7, it's like, it's all right, but I kind of want to know that I have a charger somewhere nearby. And then the charging speeds, Galaxy S25 Ultra, 45 watts of wired charging, and then Z Fold 7 at 25 watts. So again, I would have liked to have seen the faster charging speeds here. There's a whole dilemma, like if you have faster charging speeds, it's not going to help with, the overall battery life of the phone. A long-term battery degradation is going to happen much quicker, and I get that. But again, if you're paying $2,000 for a phone, if you ask me, I think you should have the best of the best in every single category. It's at least a sweet spot. If Samsung was able to implement 45 watts of fast charging, implemented with the Z Fold 7. Thankfully, we still get wireless charging and then reverse wireless charging on both as well. So that is a huge plus. But in the battery department, the Galaxy S25 Ultra is going to come out on top. Now, pricing, again, starting price $2,000, and then with the Galaxy S25 Ultra, starting price is $1,299. And there is a $700 difference. So it's like Galaxy S25 Ultra, let's say you pick that up, you still have room to pick up a Galaxy Watch 8 and maybe some Galaxy Buds 3 Pro. Like, you have enough room to pick up more products for your Samsung ecosystem. Whereas with $2,000, you're just picking up the Galaxy Z Fold 7. So the price, I'm leaving it up to you, the viewer, and the audience, because wherever you want to spend your money, that's on you. But I know price is an important factor, and you do kind of want to make that determination before picking up the phone. That being said, I want to wrap things up and then answer that question. Which one should you buy? So Z Fold 7, I think it shines in portability by being that foldable, because it's got a really great outer display, but it's also got a immersive 8-inch display. It's got all the quirks and features. It's got the great stuff. Software wise, you're getting Galaxy AI and all that good stuff. You got an ultra thin design, and obviously if you're a multitasker, this is going to be ideal for you. However, thinking about the S Pen now, it may be a deal breaker for you. Put that into account as well. And then, the downsides, you're still getting the same battery capacity, so it's not going to be, better battery life than the Galaxy S25 Ultra, and then you're not getting the same exact camera setup, so that is kind of a bummer. And then IP68 water resistance, you're getting IP48, but not the full IP68, so there are some downsides with the Galaxy Z Fold 7, and then probably some more that I don't really point out too much. Those are just the main ones. With the Galaxy S25 Ultra, it offers that flagship stability. Now, there's the whole thing of like Samsung isn't innovating anymore, they're playing it safe. And yes, I think a lot of companies, at least here in the US, are kind of doing that. Outside the US, there's definitely lots of innovation going on. But here in the US, like, we're getting like S-year upgrades every single year. Like, this is a Galaxy S23 SS, if you ask me. It's like just a 2-year cycle of just very subtle improvements. But nonetheless, it still is a flagship, and it offers that flagship stability. You're getting a stronger camera setup. You're getting a larger 5,000 milliamp hour battery that's going to last you longer. You're getting faster wired charging. You're getting a lower price, And if you are focused in photography while still getting, you know, the best of the best in pretty much every single category, having a durable, minimal, super clean design, and then great software and performance, then yeah, Galaxy S25 Ultra is a superb phone. Now, which one should you buy? That's up to you. And I think many of you probably knew that was going to be my answer, but I guess I'll put it this way. Which one would I buy? I would probably end up picking the Galaxy Z Fold 7. And the main thing for me, I can bypass a lot of things. Like I can get over not having the best of the best camera. Like I still get a decent camera setup. I can get by not having the best of the best battery life because I'm always around chargers. I have workarounds for these. Like I have alternatives and solutions for these. You're getting a larger 8-inch display, and I can have 2 or 3 apps open at the same time and still get a great experience. And I love the Galaxy S25 Ultra, don't get me wrong, but just having that immersive 8-inch display, that's going to be the phone for me to pick over the S25 Ultra. This is completely based on my preference. You may want the Galaxy S25 Ultra over the Z Fold 7. And I would highly recommend going to your local Best Buy or your local carrier store, whatever it is, and check out both of these devices. Try them out and see which one you really like. Maybe, again, that S Pen not having the support with the Z Fold 7 may be a deal breaker for you. So you want to get the Galaxy S25 Ultra, or even go with last year's Galaxy Z Fold 6, whatever the case may be. But for me, I'm going to go with the Galaxy Z Fold 7. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, definitely be sure to superman that like button, comment down below, and best of all, share this video because it really does help out the channel out a lot and will help push my content out to more people. Definitely be sure to check out my wallpaper packs. This one right here on both of these devices. It is called Color Blast. I'll be leaving links in the description down below because it really does go a long way in helping out the channel. That's been it for me from MTG. I'll see you all in the next video.